Fun fact. Did you guys know that polar bears can eat as many as 86 penguins in a single sitting if they lived in the same place?
Hey everyone, welcome to the most anticlimactic baseball show around, the walk-off walk. I'm joined as usual on We Talk Sport Good with Dom and Thomas. Thomas with that fun fact.
What's up?
All right, so this is our first baseball show. Sorry it's a little late, but we decided just wait till the playoffs, basically. So today we're going to go over our playoff predictions, and then if we have time at the end, we will predict some awards. All right. So first, we are going to start with the National League wildcard game. Number 5 seed, Colorado Rockies versus the Diamondbacks. Thomas, who you got?
I like the Diamondbacks pitching, and like being a pitcher. That's I feel like this is the World Series that's going to come down to who has the better pitching and who performs the best when it's crunch time. As far as hitting and firepower, they're pretty evenly. I mean, Davis for the Diamondbacks, and then Arenado, and like I'd say they're pretty much evenly matched. But I would give the advantage to the Diamondbacks pitching staff. I say the Rockies will steal one, but the Diamondbacks will take it in 4.
Thomas, new wild card rules, not the way it works.
Don't care.
So in the 1-game series, wild card, I have Diamondbacks. I agree with the same points Thomas makes. So
I will also go Diamondbacks. We will jump over to the American League wild card, where we got the Twins at the 5 seed and the Yanks as the 4 seed. Dom, start us off.
As much as I would like to pick the Twins after their great turnaround, having 100 losses and being the first team to make the playoffs, I don't think they have the match to beat the Yankees at New York. So I will unfortunately pick the Yankees.
Thomas?
Coming back to the regulation rules for the wild card, it's going to be Masahiro Tanaka against what's his name? Irvin Santana.
They actually decided to go Cervano. They just changed their mind today.
Oh my goodness, that's not good. That's that does not bode well for the Yankees. Santana has been the reason that the Twins are still in it, and they should. But problem number 1 with the Twins, they shouldn't have traded their closer. But that's a whole nother story. But I'm going with the Twins. If Tanaka isn't starting, the Twins are going to win this game.
I'll go with the Yankees on this one. Judge hits 1 billion home runs. All right, so we'll move back over to the NLDS. We'll start with the number 3 seed Cubbies versus the Nats. Thomas.
Once again, going to come down to pitching.
This time, Thomas.
Once again, going to come down to pitching. Thanks, Tom. This one's a toss-up because the Cubs are hot right now, and I know the Nationals are getting people back, getting some pieces back. I know their bullpen has been collapsing lately, but they have traded and bought a really solid bullpen. I think this game's going to go to 5 if the Nationals don't take it in 4 when Scherzer comes back around to pitch Game 4.
Yeah. So you're going.
If it goes to 5, the Cubs will win. But if the Nationals are in line to win Game 4 and Scherzer's on the mound, the Washington will get it.
Okay. Well, that actually goes well for mine because I have the Nats in 4. So I think, it might help the Nats in the end to have Scherzer coming in that later part of the series and hopefully clinch it. Like you said, yes, the bullpen's always scared me. I've always liked the Nats. I feel like I've always rooted for them to go far in the playoffs. I like their team. I like a lot of their players. Just to me, I enjoy watching a lot of their players play. So I'd like to see them go far. And I like their ability, like you said, pitching. And if Scherzer, Strasburg, and Gonzalez Gio all pitch well. They, like you said, they added bullpen. You know, maybe Dusty Baker doesn't screw it up too bad, and they win this series versus the Cubs against his former team.
All right. I'll go Cubs in 4. All right. So next we'll move down to the second game in the NLDS. We got the Dodgers versus – did you both pick the Diamondbacks?
Yes.
All right, we all 3 picked the Diamondbacks. So Dodgers versus Diamondbacks in our minds. Dom, start out here.
You know, this one was a little tough. I want to see Kershaw just go through the postseason, dominate, and just show everyone why he is the greatest pitcher we've seen in our lifetime right now. I don't know. I can't pick the Dodgers because every time I pick the Dodgers, they prove me wrong by playing in the playoffs like they always do. I'm going Diamondbacks in 5. Diamondbacks have won this season series 11-8, and they're playing better than the Dodgers as of late. And I'd like to pick the Dodgers, but until they show that they can actually be a playoff team, not just a regular season team, I'm not going to pick them.
Thomas?
Dom, have they decided if Greinke is going to start the wild card game?
He is starting the wild card
game. Advantage Dodgers, first of all, because Kershaw is going to go game 1 against the Diamondbacks number 2. Greinke won't be back until at least game 3. So it really just depends on which Kershaw shows up, Dom.
I know. I would like to see.
We've seen Kershaw just absolutely collapse, but in those collapses, he has faced the Cardinals twice. And I saw this thing on ESPN. It was titled "The Teams That Kershaw Doesn't Want to See." One team on there, and it was the Cardinals, and the Cardinals aren't in. So we could see another. We could see a whole other side of playoff Kershaw. But once again, the Diamondbacks have the Dodgers number. So it's this entire playoffs is going to be just very it's going to be so fun to watch.
It is. I was to say it's hard to pick. It is hard to pick. There's no.
I'm going to go Dodgers in 5. No, I'll go 6.
It's 5.
I'll go 5 then, because Kershaw will come back and pitch game 4 or 5.
Okay. I would love to see my pick wrong. I love Kershaw, so I'd love to see it wrong. But I'm going to go reverse psychology. Maybe he'll pitch well now that I'm picking against him.
That's why I'm adding more games. So
okay.
I like seeing upsets, so I'll go D-backs in 4.
Okay.
All right. So we'll jump over to the ALDS. Number 3 seed Red Sox versus Thomas's number 2 seed Astros. Thomas, kick it off.
Chris Sale versus Justin Verlander is going to be the greatest game in the playoffs this season. No matter what other matchup, it's going to be the best pitching matchup in this postseason. Guaranteed. Because outside of Chris Sale, the Astros have beaten up on Red Sox pitching, in that they showed it last week. What am I saying? The Astros have beat up on everyone's pitching. I think the Astros have one of the deepest rotations in the league, if not the deepest. And I was telling Dom before we started about some bold predictions or bold moves that I would make. Brad Peacock. That dude came out of nowhere. I want to say he's 13-2 with a sub-3 ERA. Just shut out allowed 2 runs against the Red Sox to earn the win in his final start of the season. Why not try to steal one with Brad Peacock against Chris Sale? Listen, it's completely bold and just completely shot in the dark out there. But if you can take game 1 against Chris Sale, and then you have Dallas Keuchel, Justin Verlander, and then whoever that third one's going to be, it's a toss-up. You got Charlie Morton, Lance McCullers, Colin McHugh, all of them who can throw the ball. it's gonna come down who this is gonna be the best series in the playoffs. I guarantee you, because these two teams are so matched at both levels. But I obviously have the Astros in 5.
I think it'll be a good series. I agree with that. I actually have the Astros sweeping.
Oi, Don.
I think they took care of them in the playoff or in the regular season. They ended, and I think they're going to keep that rolling against them. And I think they'll easily take versus Sale. Sale doesn't pitch well versus playoff teams. If you've actually looked at it this season, it's pretty interesting. So I think he might struggle. So
the only game I have the Astros losing is Game 1 against Chris Sale. So
I think he struggles, sets the tone, and Astros sweep.
Cool.
I'll be the bold man. I'll pick Red Sox in 4, just in spite of Thomas. All right, back down to the second game in the ALDS. Number 1 seed Cleveland versus whoever y'all picked for your wild card. I think you both picked Yankees.
Thomas went Twins.
Thomas went Twins. Okay.
I only picked Twins because of the wild card matchup. That's so stupid.
Okay.
Anyway, Dom, you go first.
I'll go first. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I think the Indians are gonna sweep. I think the biggest series will be the Astros Indians in the ALCS, but I think the Indians are going to outmatch the Yankees, and if somehow the Twins get in, they're going to sweep the Twins as well. Doesn't matter who it is, but since I have Yankees, I have Indians over Yankees in a sweep.
Thomas?
Indians are just too good, man. Indians will sweep. No matter which, like Dom said, no matter which team they play, they're going to sweep them.
All right, well, then we're all in agreement there because I also believe that the Indians will sweep. All right, so we'll jump back up to the NLCS. Who we got?
Yeah, it's still very on this one.
Who did I pick?
I think you went.
You went Cubs and Dodgers.
Cubs and Dodgers?
You said it depended on Game 5 though, Thomas, or Game 4.
True. I picked Washington over Los Angeles, and then I had the Cubs losing.
Okay, so Washington's over the Cubs for you,
yes,
and then Dodgers or D-backs.
I had Washington, Arizona. That's who I had.
Okay, pick.
I like Washington. They have better pitching, and they're about evenly matched in run scoring and those position players and the skill players that can drive in runs.
I agree. Since I had the Diamondbacks being the Dodgers, and I had the Nats being the Cubs, I'm going Nats over Diamondbacks in 6. And I really like the starting pitching for the Nats. I like how they added to the bullpen, which has always been their issue, and they're getting players back at the right time, filling out their lineup, and it's going to be a very, very good lineup once we hit playoff time with a good pitching staff. So I have a Nats in 6 over the Diamondbacks.
I believe I had Cubs and D-backs, and I will go D-backs in 5.
Ooh, D-backs making it to the World Series.
Yes, sir.
You need to put a disclaimer at the bottom. Randall has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, yeah. All right, so we'll jump up to the ALCS.
We're all in agreement here. Well, except for
I think we all had.
You have the Red Sox.
Yeah, I have Red Sox and Cleveland, and the rest of y'all have Houston and Cleveland. Thomas, we'll start with you since we all know who you're going to pick.
It's gonna be a good series. I got the Astros at 7.
I actually agree with Thomas. I actually have the Astros in 7. I think this will be the best series of the playoffs, and that's going to cause something for my World Series prediction, but I'm going to leave that for that. But I'm going to Astros in 7.
Okay, so I had Red Sox and Cleveland, and of the little bit of baseball that I've watched this year, I've actually watched Cleveland, I think, a couple of times. I'll take Cleveland in 4.
Ooh, that's sweet.
Tearing up the Sox. All right, so World Series. Who we got? Dom, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with what I was kind of leaving that hanging. Why? I think the fact that the Astros-Indians are going to be the best series, I think that's going to take just enough out of it. I'm going to go different, and I'm going to go Nats over Astros in 6. I think the fact that the ALCS is going to be so hard fought, it's going to actually not take a toll, but it like injury-wise, but it's going to take a toll on the Astros to win the series, that when it comes time to playing the Nats, those couple games without a DH and taking away someone from their really good offense, the Nats, like I said, have a lot of guys back, and I like the Scherzer, Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez 3 and the upgraded bullpen.
Thomas?
I respect that. Yeah, the DH will be a problem. I think when the Astros beat the Indians, they'll be on the biggest wave of momentum that pretty much anybody's ever seen, because I mean, the Indians have a big target on their back because rightfully so. They are the team to beat in the AL. I mean, they've earned that because of their record. They have the best record in the AL, so that puts the proverbial target on their back. And the Astros coming in as the underdogs is mind-blowing. But I think the Astros rotation is deeper and in some matchups better than Washington's is. I think the Astros have better skill players and people who can drive in runs at any given moment of the game. And I also have this game going in 6, but I have the Astros. Yes, I still have the Astros winning. They'll win in Washington.
Okay, so we got an Astros and we got a Nats. I had Cleveland and I had D-backs. I will go Cleveland in 5. They go up 3-0. D-backs sneak 1, and then they get serious and end it. So we got Cleveland, Houston, and the Nationals. So we'll follow that closely. We'll have a show probably next week, right? After the wild card. Talk a little bit about the wild card.
Yeah,
we'll try to do that.
And we'll be a little into the LDS, so it'll be interesting. We'll get a little taste of how that's started the roll. So.
Yeah. Okay, and so we got about 9 minutes. So let's go quick go to some awards. So first, Dom, we'll start with your MVP.
All right. In the AL, I'm going with Thomas's Astros. I'm going with Altuve. The fact how consistent he was all year, and not just consistency, because I know it isn't. I mean, winning the title again, the 200 hits, top in WAR. His defensive value is incredible for the team. I'm not just trying to be the best player on one of the best teams. I do think Altuve, the fact that you look at his first half, second half, even stat line. So I'm going Altuve AL. And NL, I'm going to make a little sneaky pick. I'm going with Votto. Dude, he's one of my favorite players. I know he's on a terrible team, but I'm going to give him some love. He reached base 150 out of 162 games. And out of that, 107 of the games, he reached base twice. The dude gets on base. He hit 36 home runs as well, 100 RBIs, 134 walks. The dude gets on base, 7.5 WAR. I'm going to give him some love. If Stanton wins, I mean, he deserves it as well, but I'm going to give Joey Votto some love.
All right, Thomas, your MVPs?
I also have Jose Altuve. The dude is the model of consistency. And I'm going to go with Giancarlo Stanton. He makes that team significantly better. And I was going to give some love to Joey Votto as well, Dom. So I'll go Stanton. I recently had, or not recently, but a long time ago, when some polls came out, who the front runners were, Stanton was, I think, 6th, and I was like, that'll change. And I liked him from the beginning. I'm a firm believer in, if you can make your team better just being by yourself, then you deserve it. Obviously not the case with Altuve, but you can't argue. I mean, 4 consecutive seasons with 200 hits, it's unheard of, you know. So I like Stanton.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Goldschmidt. The dude is a beast, and he gets poorly overlooked a lot.
The Woodlands, Texas product.
So I just want to give him a shout out. I do feel bad. He's kind of always just misses it.
Okay. I'll go NL, Carlos Delgado, AL, Michael Young. All right. So, and now your Cy Young winners. Thomas, we'll start with you.
Corey Kluber's man. So I'll go him for the AL, and then Kershaw being he missed some time, but man, he still dominated. So I'll go Kluber and Kershaw.
Okay.
I'm actually in agreement with you, Thomas. Exactly. I have Kluber and Kershaw. You know, it's a two-man race in both ones. It's Kluber, Sale, and Kershaw, Scherzer. Scherzer did miss some time, more as a precaution. He never actually went on the DL. Kershaw just lowered his career ERA again. Every year he's lowered it. I'm on board with he is. I want to see him one time in my life. And he's
Verlander in an Astros uniform is the Cy Young winner.
I mean, I've always enjoyed watching Verlander back in his Tiger days. But, yep, I'm going Kershaw's Kluber. And, you know, if Sale, Scherzer win, they both deserve it as well. So I won't be upset on that.
I don't think I'm going to be upset with the – I don't think I'm ever upset with the Cy Young race, honestly. But it'll still be good.
Okay. AL, I will go Pedro Martinez on the Red Sox. And NL, I will go Randy Johnson on the Diamondbacks. Okay, so next we'll go Manager of the Year. Tom?
A.J. Hinch.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start with Thomas.
Yeah, I was going to say just take it away, Thomas.
Just saying. He finally got his team that he's wanted from the beginning. Him and Jeff Leno have finally put together their roster. And he honestly hasn't had to do much because the lineup is so deep. And he's just – I feel like this one is gift wrapped to him. So.
You want to do your NL or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I don't want to do it NL. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. My AL, I'm going to give Paul Molitor some love. Turning a 59 and 103 team to a playoff team in the wild card in the Twins. No, I mean, if Hinch or even Francona, win, they deserve it as well. But you have to look, I mean, what the Twins have. Who's their superstars? Sano?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mauer's passes.
Hey, man, Santana's a monster.
I mean, Santana's a monster, but, I mean, he's had to do a lot of work. Byron Buxton's at least looking good, but, I mean, they're one of the best defensive team. I know. Finally he's doing it. But, I mean, the fact that he's turned that team, they pieced it together as we're going to be one of the best defensive teams and get a lot of ground balls and hope we win in just tight games. And they've managed to do that, and he's managed it well. So I'm going to give him credit for that with that team. I mean, no superstars or anything. And Snow missed a lot of time. So, I mean, that was their big all-star player. Yeah. So I'll give it to him just because I think the first team to ever lose 100 games and then turn around and make the playoffs is impressive. And I'm going to go in the NL. I'm going to give another wild card team some love with Lavulo. I can't ever say his name right. The Diamondbacks manager. He exactly flipped the record. He came in first year. He turned a 69 and 93 team into a 93 and 69 team. Impressive in that division, the stacked division where you have three teams out of it, and the Diamondbacks could have been a division winner somewhere else, possibly. Gotcha. I mean, and they played the best team in baseball, the Dodgers, and they beat them 11-8. So I think what he did with them was impressive. So I'll give it to him.
All right, I'll go with Jim Leland. All right, so Rookies of the Year. Tom, we'll start with you this time.
I think this one's pretty wrapped up.
Yeah.
Judge, AL, Bellinger, NL.
Next.
Oh, you're going the same thing, Thomas?
Yeah, it's not even not even close.
Sadly, that's not a race, but you got to say it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go Ken Griffey Jr. Relievers of the Year.
In the AL, I'm going with Colomo. I can't ever say his name right either.
Colomé.
Colomé. I can't say names right. You're gonna learn that fast.
Reliever or closer?
Reliever.
I mean, it is the reliever. I mean, I believe it's now the Rivera and the Hoffman Award.
Okay.
They did start that last year. I think they're keeping it. So I'm gonna go with him. He had a good ERA down low with his saves. I didn't want to pick just off the saves.
Mhm.
He did have the ERA to go with it. And I'm going with Jansen for the Dodgers. I mean, he tied with Holland of the Rockies, but the fact that he had that crazy streak going where just no one could even touch him, wasn't walking anyone. It was like 90, whatever the strikeouts to no walks just was insane. I mean, he earned it for sure.
Yeah, I also like Jansen. But I'm gonna on the AL side, I'm gonna go with a closer and a reliever. I really enjoyed Kimbrel. He had one of his better years, and honestly, if the Red Sox are up going into the ninth, like I have zero confidence that it's gonna happen. But Chris Davinsky, bro, like I'm not like my bias is showing, of course, but Devo had, I want to say, somewhere around 70 innings in relief, and Randall, that's a lot in relief. What he did, and like he of course everybody goes through some rough patches, but at one point in a 20 inning stretch, a 0 ERA and a 0 batting average against lefties. Like lefties didn't touch him. And I think he's going to be if a starter can at least get to 6, he's the 7th inning guy, and then the 7th inning is pretty much wrapped up in any game in this playoff. So I like Devo.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Kimbrel's funky stance, the whole arm way out there. You see that, it's go time. I believe it was when we saw with the Braves and the Phillies fans were all behind the backstop like that. I don't know. It's a funky thing, and it works. I mean, pumps it. I'm not gonna change my pick, but if you're going with a reliever that's not a closer, I want to give a shout out. Give it to me, Thomas. Alex Claudio. The dude was the only guy in the bullpen for the Rangers that was worth anything. Sure. 4-2, 2.5 ERA.
Yeah, sure. 70.
He had 82.2 innings pitched, and he throws like 85, and he's just a lefty, like sidearm slinger.
Hey, lefties can get away with that.
I mean, but hey, it worked. They were joking. They're like, whenever he hits like 86, they're like, whoa, dude, calm down. Mm-hmm. That's topping out for him. But I mean, he sits in like 70s with off speed, and
yeah, he's a seeker baller, and he's definitely nasty.
So. I mean, I just the fact that he pitched 82.2 innings, like you said, 70. I'm not saying that he did better than your reliever, but I mean, I just want to give him a shout out for the fact that he survived as a reliever for 82.2 innings.
That's crazy.
2.5 ERA, he managed it. So,
all right. Nice. Well, I will pick Mariano Rivera. He still plays, right?
Oh yeah.
No?
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
Probably in some retired league.
As soon as the NBA show comes up, I will dribble circles around these boys. Boom, throw it down. So that's going to be the end of the first episode of the most anticlimactic baseball show around, the Walk-Off Walk.
I was actually at the Walk-Off Walk this year, just saying.
Thomas witnesses.
When the Astros beat the Royals, Evan Gaddis hit the Walk-Off Walk.
All right.
Walk-Off Walk?
Yeah.
He walked the Walk-Off Walk.
Yeah, he hit the Walk-Off Walk.
All right, so that'll be the first episode of the Walk-Off Walk. We will be back next week with that, probably the same day, probably Monday. We'll probably try to do it at 6:30 again. Catch us Wednesday at 6 for our third, maybe fourth, I'm not sure, episode of third episode of NFL Talk. We'll try to have a catchy name for NFL Talk this week. We'll try to, that'll be our goal. We'll find a new name for that. But anyways, follow us at our Twitter at We Talk Sport Good. We Talk Sport Good on our Twitter.
We'll get some more polls out there.
Yes, we'll throw some more polls out there for everyone. like this video, share it, subscribe, comment, ask us questions. You know the drill. We're trying to get the word out. We'll start promoting a little bit more in the following weeks. So yeah, that's the end of Walk Off Walk. This is Randall Collier signing off.